a lot of news just dropped. Like there's a lot of tea that we got to talk about.
So it's not too late is what you're saying?
It's definitely not too late. In fact, on YouTube, I would say it's early because of a few things that are happening.
At YouTube?
Yes, at YouTube specifically. So last year, they hired a dedicated podcast, somebody from another company to lead up podcast. They invested $500,000 in shows. They secured NPR to launch a bunch of shows and turn them into video versions onto YouTube.
And they weren't video versions before?
Correct. And
Wow.
they launched youtube.com/podcasts, plural. That's a URL listeners could go to just to see that there's now kind of a page like the Apple Podcasts homepage with banners on it of shows that are being highlighted and different curated clusters of types of shows around different subject matter.
So in other words, if I'm on YouTube and I go to /podcasts, I'm going to see a kind of a different homepage.
Yes.
Where normally my YouTube algorithm is just like feeding me like, oh, you one time watched a video of this and we think you might watch this. Now it's going to show me different things. It's like these are things you're going to want to listen to, but they're also video.
Yep. And if you go there, you'd see maybe Dave Ramsey talking about personal finance, and you may see even shows like Phil DeFranco, which is a news show. That's kind of a guy that tries to kind of play neutral on both sides. And you're like, okay, yeah, that is a podcast. You could consume that audio wise. It's a video. It's been kind of more of a YouTuber. So a lot of that is all happening, but a lot of new news just dropped, which is the actual functionality of podcasts on YouTube. And what it is that you actually can upload a podcast, optimize it with a square image.
So like even just show art.
Okay. And you can also you can set a playlist, a YouTube playlist as a podcast. And when you optimize content properly on YouTube to be a podcast, there's now 3 new discoverability options. And we don't know how good these are going to be, but this would be that new opportunity that's just happening right now.
Okay.
There's going to be a badge that says that this is a podcast.
Okay.
There's going to be a couple distribution channels that are like new traffic sources in the YouTube world of search and discoverability for people that show an interest in podcasts and maybe want to check others out.
Wow.
But not a lot of people are very fast moving when it comes to optimizing their content properly to tap into these features. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you do so, coming down the road very soon is your video podcasts being distributed as audio on YouTube Music.
Oh, wow.
And the platform wars are YouTube Music versus Spotify versus Apple iTunes, because you have music, you have podcasts. So these are all these different ecosystems where YouTube's trying to take the whole pie.
Yeah.
They're trying to have the video side. YouTube Music, if you're a YouTube Premium user, some people might be a Spotify Premium user, an iTunes Premium Music or whatever, Apple Music. And so you pay $10 a month, $12 a month. You now have ad-free YouTube videos, but you have all your music on YouTube Music, just like Spotify, and podcasts now. But what do we let's talk about monetization. YouTube.
But wait a second. I want to back you up for just a second. You said ad-free. So are the podcasts going to be ad-free?
Well, they could be, but also you could go to YouTube Music with ads on, just like you could go to Spotify with ads on.
Okay.
And so besides your own ads or sponsored things that you're integrating, what happens when YouTube and Google's incredibly robust selling to advertisers starts to put ads on in those podcasts that also could be dynamic, midstream, just like these other platforms do. So one thing is for sure, these huge brands, Meta, Google, who owns YouTube, Spotify, they're not like playing kind. They're not like, oh, let's be nice. Like they're trying to take market share. And so YouTube, the platform itself, should not be ignored. And therefore the opportunity is to really lean into this.